So I'm using a nail gun for the first time ever on the TV show that I got hired on, originally called Clean Sweep, right? And they're filming me, and I'm not paying attention. I put my hand up to hold the shelving unit, and I push the nail gun in, and I literally nail the webbing between my thumb and forefinger to the shelving unit, and I don't stop because I'm a consummate professional. And my hand is literally nailed to a shelving system. And finally, I'm like, okay, can we cut now? And I look down, and it's literally pinned, and everyone like comes around and goes, oh my God!
How did you get it out?
I actually just like pulled it off and just pulled the nail through the webbing part.
Ooh.
Right? And then
Did you go to the hospital?
Well, no, I didn't, because it just got the last quarter inch of the skin, right? But it's amazing feeling when you nail your own hand to a piece of wood.
Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, you're listening to our special Home Wizards podcast, and I don't know, you're telling us that power tools are a good thing, but that is a pretty scary
it's
feeling.
amazing.
I can't imagine nailing my hand to something, and then what about getting sick because of a tainted nail? Right.
Well, yeah. You mean, yeah. When there's rust involved.
Yeah.
What is it called? Tetanus.
Yes.
Yeah. I've had like 300 tetanus shots.
We all grew up getting a tetanus shot, but then you can't remember. Well, did it expire? Are you in between?
Well, how you know when you have an infection going on?
It swells
it happens
up,
rapidly. Like I've stepped on a 3-inch nail before, and it went right through the shoe and up through the top. And there was like rat crap all over the floor. It went immediately. The foot swelled up like a watermelon within like 2 hours. So, you know when it's going down. And it's going to come a lot sooner than you think.
So this scary tool here you are, you're a contractor and you know what you're doing. And so here I am. I'm not a contractor, but I work a little bit with tools, and now I'm really scared. I'm scared about this power tool.
Sure.
So what am I going to do to it? I don't want to staple I don't want to nail the web of my finger over there.
No, you don't. And also, a lot of people use gloves all the time when they use these power tools, and I think it's a bad idea. I don't like gloves because
it desensitizes you, doesn't it?
Exactly. It keeps you from being connected to that tool that you're using.
It's like you got clown hands all of a sudden.
Well, yeah, like Mickey Mouse. I'm using power tools with big hands. Yeah, you got to be very, very careful. So the nail gun, I think, is the number one most incredibly dangerous tool out there, and the reason being is that it's a compressor, and it's shooting a piece of metal through the nail gun, and if the safety's off. And a lot of pro guys take the safety off because they just want to go, nail really quickly.
Show-offs.
And what happens is that you can literally just hold the gun out and, for fun as kids, when I was first starting in the construction business, you like shoot each other from across the roof with the nails.
Could you kill somebody with it?
Absolutely. There's no question. Because they're shooting 3-inch nails out at, like 1,000 miles an hour that can drive through wood, right?
Through your heart.
So, and you've seen the pictures online of people with, like, in their brain, they fell off the scaffolding and the gun hit their head and shot nails into their brain. It's amazing. So that's number one. That's the scary one. So the way to be careful with that is keep the safety on. We got to wear safety glasses because a lot of times...
Hold on. Where is the safety on this? How do I know where it is?
So the way the nail gun works is that you depress the gun onto the surface you're going to nail, and there's this little mechanism that goes up into the gun, and that gives the trigger the ability to release. It's like a safety catch, right?
Okay.
If you take that off, you don't have to depress it to have the nail fire. It'll just fire when you pull the trigger.
See, because you're bringing flashbacks for me, because when I went to learn how to shoot a gun at the firing range in Las Vegas, and it was with a guy who was a former military guy, and he's there coaching me all along. I was literally like shaking. My arm was shaking, and I was anticipating doing something wrong.
That's the danger. See, it's that anticipation where you pull away.
Yes,
like, oh my God, I can't do this. Right,
so you don't want us to be scared, but you want us to be respectful.
Yeah, you got to have a healthy respect for the tool. You got to wear safety glasses, and you want to wear hearing protection, because what happens also with nail guns is that little fragments of the nail head sometimes come off and fly into the air. So I got a friend, Quint, who was using a tool, and then the metal came off the nail and literally went into his eye, and now he has a glass eye, right? But
why do we even want to use this tool?
The cool thing about Quinn is that he does the one-eyed pizza cut blind pirate, and he chases my kids around without his eye in his head, and goes, "Arr!" And the kids love it. Shines a flashlight in the hole in his head. Yeah.
You're creeping me out.
That's the number one most dangerous tool is the nail gun and compressor.
But wait, can women use that though?
Of course.
This is intimidating to me.
Are you kidding me? Some of the best framers I've ever known were women, and they're amazing with the tools.
All right, so why would I want to use that tool? What am I going to make with that?
For you, as a homeowner and somebody that's not out there in the field doing crazy construction, it's great to put crown molding up. The nail gun is they come cordless without the hose attached to them. You know, they use fuel cell rods that give you the compression.
I love crown molding.
Right?
What else?
Anything that you would use a hammer for, you would substitute out a nail gun.
So basically, hanging artwork,
hanging artwork, doing upholstery, where you're fastening stuff on the back of a bed
to
frame,
your chairs,
anything like that. The nail gun works great for.
Okay, then I guess I do want to use it.
You don't want to be afraid of that, and you want to try it. That's number one, though, in terms of danger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number two, I think, is going to be the chainsaw. And the reason the chainsaw is really dangerous is
it's in all those horror movies.
It's the creepy guy with the hockey mask, running after you with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
So the reason that's dangerous is because they have a tendency to bind. When you're cutting a tree, it'll fall into the cut. And when the tree falls into the cut, it compresses the joint that you're cutting, and it binds the saw. And whenever you bind the saw, either that chain can fly off the chainsaw and whip you, or it can come back at you and cut you.
Has that happened to you too?
It's happened to me, and I had steel toe boots on, which is kind of a must when you're doing a lot of logging stuff, right? So what happens with chainsaws is that people are usually cutting down on them, like a fallen tree, for example. If your feet are not spread more than shoulder width apart, and you come down and cut through that thing rapidly, that chainsaw comes down onto the foot. And so the majority of the injuries come when your feet are in the wrong place. So you always want to have a wide stance, about shoulder width apart. So when you do get through your log, it's going to hit the dirt only and not hit your foot.
So this is the guys cutting down the Christmas trees, right? They're using that,
yeah,
right?
And then the other precarious thing with a chainsaw is that people will try and reach too far out into a limb, and they're up in the air on a tree, for example, or in a cherry picker, trying to cut branches off.
Sure.
And you're reaching too far out.
And they fall.
They either fall or the saw again binds and then kicks back and then throws your balance off, and then that's when you start falling off ladders or trees that you're trying to trim. So with the chainsaw, obviously hearing protection because it's like, and then the safety glasses, of course. Okay?
Have you ever ended up in the hospital because of using some of these scary power tools? Because I know a lot of people do.
Yeah, and the hospital visit was from the nail that went through the foot because it swelled up so fast. But I wasn't using the tool. But
so really, have you ever been to the hospital with a power tool? No.
No, I've been very lucky.
It's because you denied treatment.
That's right. I'm a treatment denier. My third most dangerous saw or power tool would be the table saw, and that's because when you push wood through the guide on a table saw, if you have your hands in the wrong position, it'll suck your hand into the blade. And I know many people who've cut their fingers off. Also,
let me see your fingers.
I got 5.
You've got,
but that's on 2 hands. No, I'm kidding. I got all 10 fingers. The other thing that happens with the table saw is that the wood will literally shoot back and impale you because it's rotating at such a fast speed that as you're pushing it through, if the wood binds on the side guide, right, because you're coming in too much at an angle on the guide, it'll literally shoot the wood back into the room at like 100 miles an hour.
Or how about cutting tile? Because I know that when we were having our kitchen done, I was watching the guys work on precisely cutting our porcelain tile just to the right shape, because we had kind of a herringbone design, and so they were working with different offbeat rectangular shapes, and they had the water and this tool, and it was really scary to see them just kind of feeding this so close to the blade.
Yeah, and the thing about the tile saw is the blade, you can touch the blade and it won't cut you. So I set tile for 20 years as a career, and I never got cut by the tile saw. What I did get, and I got to digress because I did go to the hospital for this, a piece of ceramic tile flew up into my eye, and I had to have it picked out by the ophthalmologist guy, and they force your eye open like in Clockwork Orange, where you're just sitting there and your eyes pried open, and then they're like in there poking around with like some form of a tweezer.
But you're okay? Your vision's okay?
Where are you, Cindy? I can't find you. Where are you?
But you are okay.
No, I'm fine.
Oh my gosh.
But that's the thing. It's the because things are rotating or moving back and forth rapidly. It's catching the clothes, gloves, having things fly off into the eye. That's where the danger comes in. So if you're armed with knowledge and you have a healthy respect for the tool, they're safe. But if you're not thinking because you're doing it repetitively and you've got your mind somewhere else, that's when you get into trouble.
So be focused, be smart.
Be nimble and be able to jump out of the way when that blade's coming at you. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, I guess I will try some
Don't
of
be
this.
afraid, though.
I'm not going to be afraid.
I want to empower you.
Okay.
That's the point of this whole thing.
All right. Well, we have more of these podcasts. Just always come back to the website here, yourhomewizards.com, and, of course, on iTunes. Power Tools. We have respect for you, Power Tools,
That's
and I'm
right.
glad you can see.
They serve us.
I'm glad.
We
see
serve
your fingers
them.
again, all 10?
I got all 4 on one hand.
Eric Stomer, Cindy Dole, yourhomewizards.com.